sources I have on my phone because of this podcast.
I know.
I wake up and it's like ding, 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 ding.
I have Fox, CNN, Wall Street Journal, and Google Alerts. And obviously ESPN, ESPN.
Let's see if I can find it because I kind of put it in the back of my phone. Okay, here's all the news articles I have. It's USA Today, BBC News, New York Times, Fox News, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, Wall Street Journal, and Bleacher Report.
I told you, bro. I told you earlier, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. So.
Yeah. But it's... And when people say, oh, when they got rid of all guns, their crime rate's low. Their crime rate's always been low. And now look at it. Their crime rate is mirroring New York's.
Which is
It's
bananas.
going up. With only knives.
New York is a few steps away from Chicago.
Yes.
With regard to murders. I remember in Newark, New Jersey, like 3 or 4 years ago, bro, they had a day where there wasn't a documented murder. They threw a parade the next day, or like 2 days after, because they went a day without a murder.
Yeah.
A day! Can you imagine that? They went a day, although Newark's turned around a lot. Newark has really turned around. I mean, still friggin' Newark, but...
Yeah.
You gotta get a new case, bro.
I do need to get a new case.
Shout out Apple. I wanna make a shout out to Apple right quick. Listen,
Do it.
Listen. This is the greatest piece of technology I've ever owned. I got that new iPhone X, and I can tell you this is gonna sound like weird, but I really don't care. This is everything I've ever wanted in a phone. OLED screen, quick processor, face recognition, wireless charging. It's really, the pictures are bananas. You know they have portrait on the front now?
Really?
So you could take selfies.
Really?
Portrait mode on the front logo.
I didn't realize that.
No, turn around.
And here's the other funny thing I thought about London. Is...
Beautiful. Look at that.
Damn.
I told you, bro.
Damn. You need to Facebook that.
Come on, bro.
You need
No,
to
heck
Facebook
no,
that.
I don't put anything on Facebook now because we don't know what's going to be used against us.
True.
I took my political party off Facebook. I deleted all political articles I've ever talked about. The only thing that's on my Facebook now is pictures of puppies.
Aww.
But we're not talking about dogs. So
Yeah.
What were we going to say?
But okay, so the funny thing about England is you have the left in their gun debate being, let's be like England. We got to be like England. England does this. England does that. Well, guess what? England's a very conservative country. Very conservative country. Like, extremely conservative country. The only thing they agree with is the banning of guns. That's it. That is absolutely it. And another reason why their crime rate is so low, because they have stop and search. You want your crime rate to stay low? Hey, why don't we start putting stop and search in? Like, do I agree with it? Maybe not. I don't know too much about it. Well, let's do that. Like, there's literally an article. This came out of The Mail, a London-based, England-based article. And let me see if I can find the whole thing, because I took a picture of it. I just, can't find it. Okay, so here's the first part. It's going to be a little bit, let me save this.
Yoppy.
Hold on. Let me get it all together. Because
I'm holding, bro.
Completely separate. But, okay, so here we go. This is an English news article. Now, tell me that they are not a very conservative country. And if, tell me they aren't, then you're kind of lying to my face. But, here we go.
You're fed up, huh?
May's stop and search U-turn on gang wars. That's the title. Theresa May has been forced to do a U-turn on police stop and search powers by the epidemic of stabbing and shootings sweeping London. Realize they say shootings? I thought they banned all guns.
I know.
Huh.
How could that happen?
I don't know.
If it's a gun-free zone, how could there possibly be a shooting?
I don't know. California. Okay.
Shout out you too.
Keep going. But emergency plans to extend stop and search are in a tough package of measure unveiled by Home Secretary Amber Rudd and claims that violent crimes is out of control in the capital. New offensive weapons laws to be introduced within weeks will make it illegal to own so-called zombie killer knives and knuckle dusters used by gangs and allow police to raid homes to seize them without a search warrant.
What's a knuckle duster? Like brass knuckles?
Yeah. And the government wants to extend stop and search to include people who used acid as a weapon. It reflects a change of direction for Miss May, who has introduced a series of curbs on stop and search since 2010, claiming they are unfair to young black men damaging to the community relations, and do not cut crime. Underlying the government's new serious violence strategy, before I keep going, they said they saw their crime start rising once they cut back on stop and search. Just saying. Underlying the government's new serious violence strategy, Ms. Rudd, I think, said last night, it marks a major shift in the government's response to knife crime and gun crime. And strikes a balance between prevention and robust law enforcement. Stop and search is a vital policing tool. Let me say that again. Stop and search is a vital policing tool, and officers will always have the government's full support to use these powers properly. Other measures and the new strategy will prevent knives that are bought online, sent to residential addresses, make it easier to prosecute those who use knives and guns to threaten others. Hey, look, they said guns again. Ban knives at colleges. Introduce new measure to stop gangs using social media to goad each other. Ban more types of flick knives and devices used to make rapid firing rifles. The initiative came after the growing calls for action to combat a rise in violence, which has seen London's murder rate rival New York's this year. Ms. Rudd's striking vote of confidence in stop and search being a vital police tool with the government's full support will not be lost on police chiefs and others. Ms. May's curb on the practice since 2010 came in the face of warnings by some politicians, including David Cameron, and some police chiefs, and they could hinder the war on crime. Some experts claim the reduction in stop and searches is a factor in the rise in killings. There it is, right there. In recent weeks, senior police in London have pleaded with ministers to act. Their sentiments were reflected on Friday by Sarah Thornton, chairman of the National Police Chiefs Council, who said police must have confidence to use stop-and-search powers without the chill effect of political interference. Ms. Thornton's comments have been echoed by London's mayor, Sadiq Khan, I think that's how you say it, who, writing in today's Mail on Sunday, says police officers should be confident to use stop and search powers when it is targeted and intelligence-led. Over the next few weeks in London, Over the next few weeks in London, targeted intelligence-led stop and searches will be used more based on suspicion of carrying a weapon. This should lead to a safer city. And in a controversial intervention, Trevor Phillips, former head of the Commission... it's a weird term. For racial equality today calls for tougher policing methods to be used in black communities hit by knife crime than in less violent white areas. You want to know a twist on this? That guy's black. That statement right there in the United States would cause riots and outbreaks.
Yeah, there'd be a march.
There would be.
There'd be a march.
But it's funny how you could say
march.
stuff like this. Yeah, they're given millions of dollars.
My thing is with stop and frisk, why is it such a big deal? It can only be a big deal to people that have something.
Yeah.
What are you going to find on me? A phone and a charger and some keys?
Exactly.
My keys too sharp for you? Is it
Who knows? You might start banning keys, too. But
honestly, you're not wrong.
Let's continue. Mr. Phillips, who grew up in Tottenham, scene of several recent killings, criticized political leaders for failing to acknowledge race as a factor. Another one that would cause a ginormous riot. In an interview with this newspaper, he says, "We have to be honest and say it's not white boys in Surrey being stabbed or stabbing other people. The victims and perpetrators are mainly from a narrow range of backgrounds, and we should not be afraid to say so. They are usually from black Afro-Caribbean backgrounds. The new measure will be seen by some as putting police back on the front foot in the war on crime." Ms. Rudd said that the new laws on knives and knuckle dusters mean that police will be able to enter homes and seize them. She said, "We have always stood for law and order to tackle violent crime effectively. Robust legislation and powerful law enforcement must be in place."
Okay, but when they say knife, are they talking about the fucking Jack Hawk 9000? Or are they just talking about Swiss Army?
They're talking about that as well. They're
There's
talking
no
about all of them.
blade. There's no, because knives are illegal in America.
Yeah.
You can't have a
6
more
inch,
than
is
four.
it?
I think it's 4 inches.
4?
More than your hand. That's why almost every blade you're going to pick up is going to be just about. You put your hands out, put your hands straight all the way out. It can't go further than your hand.
Okay.
Like long ways across your fingers, not the fucking the other way.
Okay.
Width. Oh, you need the fire.
I do need the fire. I need the fire. You know, just got to,
You want to know something funny? London's 87% white.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me again how we have to be like them.
It's
America's only
Here's the
57,
thing.
I think, percent white.
If you're gonna say let's be like London, yeah, let's adopt everything then. Like, okay, you want all your guns
on
away?
the left side of the road.
Hey, yeah, why not? I dared you to do it, but you didn't do it.
Hell no, I was in your car. I should have done it.
No, you weren't in my car. It was your car.
That's probably why I didn't do it. I babied my car.
Yeah.
How's your cigar? You got to pick it up and hit it every once in a while.
Yeah, I know. I was reading a story. I got really into it.
Yeah, you were really firing off that story. Who is Miss Thornton? Who's that? Is that the mayor? No, the mayor is Saeed Khan or whatever.
I don't know. It didn't really specify in that story.
Great.
That was the only thing about reading these papers, you know. And there's another one. Apparently, gangs have point systems.
Gang.
So if you stab someone in the head, you get more points. The higher the points you got, the more you go raise.
The higher up you are?
Yeah, the higher up you are.
Can you imagine getting stabbed in the fucking head?
And think about it, you have nothing else. The only way to do it is if you know how to stop someone from stabbing you. And you got to be able to grab their arm at the right time and hit their pressure point in the wrist. Just so they can open up a little bit. To drop that knife. You know?
There's no reason for anybody to have a knife. It's ridiculous. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Having an assault style knife. It's,
Yeah, okay, and let's go back to what the London mayor said. Let me see if I can find. I posted on my Facebook.
Who's this? Saeed Khan?
I don't know exactly how to say the name. It's absolutely ridiculous.
There's no reason for anybody to have a knife. That's the only way that you can read that. There's no reason for anyone.
Let's go to it.
Ever
Here it is.
knife.
No excuse. There is never a reason to carry a knife. Anyone who does will be caught, and they will feel the full force of the law. Guess
What
what?
about FedEx?
I can name you more reasons to carry a knife than I can a gun.
Yeah.
And I support carrying guns.
What about a nice little old lady?
Okay. What?
Stab.
Yeah.
Stab.
Oh, not even that. Let's sit there. You get in a car accident, your car starts on fire. How do you cut your seatbelt?
Yeah.
With a
you
spork?
have to break your window open too.
You could use your back of your... I don't know if anybody knows this. It's really cool. But your headrest, if you take it out all the way, the bottoms are pointed so that you could break your windows.
You just saved a lot of lives.
I know.
A lot of lives.
So remember that. Take your headset or headpiece out if you're stuck anywhere, and use that to break the window.
I know that I have a really
But that
nice...
can't cut a seatbelt.
Oh yeah, I didn't think so. I have a really nice Smith & Wesson knife that I was best man at one of my best friend's wedding, and he got me a Smith & Wesson carbon blade, and on the end of it, it has like a little dimple thing.
Really?
It looks like a stud, and that's what you can use to break the window, and then on the other side of it, there's
I've seen those.
like a little cut in that you can use to cut the seatbelt.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we really went off topic. We didn't even have that on the schedule to talk
It's
about.
okay, we're good.
I like it.
Or you want to talk about knives? I just used
I don't know.
a knife
What
to-
else do you have to say about
I
it?
just used a knife to cut my steak that I had for dinner. I guess that makes me a criminal.
I just use the knife to pick at my nails.
Ew, dude. Disgusting.
Damn. It was in the car. It wasn't like a food-eating knife. It's like a pocket knife.
See, you know what though? There's places like England where they're trying to ban knives, where there's a group in this country that's trying to ban certain guns and things like that. And then in Syria, they gassed their own people.
Nice transition.
In 2014, that was good, right?
That was a really good
In 2014, Assad killed 1,300 people with a sarin gas attack. Sarin gas is kind of like mustard gas. It basically,
I hate mustard.
it's like acid. It just dissolves. You jerk. It is like dissolves. And so this is what's so weird about this attack. I know we have other stuff to do. Do you want to do that first, or do you want to go?
Let's talk about it. It's on the list.
So it's supposedly 70 are dead, and the World Health Organization and officials from the UN and a American-led coalition of wartime investigators, I think is what they call them, where if something like this happens, a coalition from the UN comes in and deduces what happened. Like they kind of
Okay.
I think there was about 550 people affected, 70 dead. All of those 630 something people, every single one of them, and all the people around there, have the symptoms of a chemical attack. The World Health Organization said so. The UN said so. Americans said so. The French president now says he has proof. What's his name for the